And back for one last time for today, the day after Easter. Happy Easter, happy Easter. Happy Easter. Yes, I did watch Easter Parade with the lovely Judy Garland and Fred Astaire yesterday. And so I double-checked, along with the three sopranos that I have that we're listening to, Phyllis Curtin, Joan Sutherland, and Beverly Sills. I also have Carrie Takanawa singing it, and Amanda Rucroft, and Leontine Price, and Elena Musik, and Sumi Jo, and Mariella Devia singing. So, and I'm sure I have more. I thought I had Renee Fleming singing it. I know I've heard her sing it because I think it was way back in 1996. They did a telecast from the Met for James Levine's 25th anniversary, and I know she sang that on there. She had a red velvet dress and a black weird shawly thing, and she did the quartet, septet, sextet, singtet, quadun, quartet from Don Giovanni, with Carrie Takanawa and Bryn Terfel, and anyway. So I know obviously she's sung it before. I'm sure she has it on some commercial CD somewhere. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to hear Phyllis Curtin. Phyllis Curtin, wonderful American soprano from Virginia. And this is a great CD of opera arias. She does some Figaro, Così, a bunch of different things, and Depuis le jour. I have a certain affinity for Phyllis because I've spent 2 summers at Tanglewood way back in 1986, summer of 86. After I graduated high school, I did their high school program, and then after my junior year, summer of 1989 I believe, I did her seminar, her Phyllis Curtin seminar, and she's just a wonderful heart and person, and her talent and her intelligence, and just a really wonderful performer. And so there she is doing Salome. That was actually the cover picture of her dancing. That's I think my favorite picture of her. Just that captures just I would hang that in my salon. And here she is, a wonderful photograph of her, like a amazingly statuesquely beautiful woman. Most of these pictures were taken by her husband Gene Cook, who I never unfortunately got to meet. He passed away that first summer I was at Tanglewood in 1986, and he was a photographer for Life magazine, I'm sure along with many others. And anyway, she's just a wonderful person, and we happen to be Facebook friends, as a matter of fact. And when I commented about how great I think Dawn Upshaw's American Diction is, she actually shared my status on her page. So I thought that was pretty telling and pretty fantastic, because other friends of mine many times will use Phyllis as their example. Friends of mine that are voice teachers and stuff will use her as an example of amazing diction. So the fact that she shared my status talking about Dawn Upshaw, that was a lot of fun, right? So anyway, there's a great little she has a little section in here where she talks about the recordings and stuff. She doesn't say a lot about Depuis le jour because it was never a role she did, but it was very common for her to do it as an encore or within a recital program and that sort of thing. But one of my favorite cuts on this, which maybe someday I'll play, is Ain't It a Pretty Night? Ain't It a Pretty Night from Carlisle Floyd's Susanna. And don't you be calling it no Susanna like some crazy maid from that Mozart Figaro thing, because Miss Phyllis will correct you, because it ain't no Susanna, it's Susanna. And it's it's a great opera. That aria in particular is amazing. So search it out, seek it out, search it out, whatever, and search out this recording. But there's 2 live recordings of her doing this aria. I think this was might have been from a rehearsal, but that doesn't matter. It's amazing. And I'll just read, even though we're not talking about Ain't It a Pretty Night right now, I'm just going to read a little bit about it because I find it's just, I love the way she talks. So Ain't It a Pretty Night? Oh, ain't it? It was my great fortune to be the very first Susanna, and I sang it many times in places until I felt that no matter how well I sang and played it, no matter how deeply I loved to do it, I was getting too old, that awful word, to look right for that healthy, lovely, free young girl. And I needed her to be herself. But this girl, this opera, and this song are engraved on my heart. I love the image of that. I think that's beautiful. Excuse me. So here she is singing Depuis le jour. Once again, very slow, almost as slow as Sills. Not quite as slow. Let's 30 seconds slower overall, as far as the timing of the aria. But there's just something about listening to somebody that that you've spent time with, that she was the dean of my school for the arts when I was in college. Like, I saw her all the time, and to have spent a summer with her, learning from her, and to be with someone who's actually put their hands on you to show you how to breathe, and all of that is just that extra connection with somebody, and then to actually hear them in their prime. This was from around 1960, I believe. So here's a little bit more of Phyllis Curtin. And as I said, this is a live recording, so the quality isn't as good, but it's pretty darn good, actually, for being a live recording. I don't know how it was recorded, but for 1960, for a live recording, this is pretty darn good. And it's got more of that transparent feel in the orchestra, like the Sills recording. And like Sills, she has a very vibrant, forwardly placed voice, very different than Sutherland. And sometime I'll also talk about, there's a great video called Opera 2 to 6, which has a duet and a trio and a quartet and a quintet and a sextet. Get it? 2 to 6. And both Sutherland and Sills, although they don't sing together on that program, it was one of those like Bell Telephone Hour type of things. And they do some wonderful little interviews in between, and all the musical parts have been released on DVD, but the in-between little discussions have not been. So I'm going to have to take my VHS copy and put it on a DVD and upload it or download it or post it or whatever. Very interesting to see the difference in how Sutherland talks and how Phyllis Curtin talks. Anyway, back to the music. couple things. I just noticed in my background, I got my two Joan Sutherland opera newses on the wall there. You can see some sort of tucked away behind that thing. Anyway, and they're signed by Joan. She signed them in my presence. I had her sign them. Probably some annoying pain in the ass. Please sign this. Please sign this. Anyway, back to Phyllis. What I was thinking of before I got distracted by my Joan opera newses is what a feminine sound she has. And I mean that as an absolute total compliment. I never use the word feminine when describing Joan Sutherland, and that is not a diss or anything. It's just something about Phyllis's voice is very feminine and womanly, and once again, that doesn't mean anything bad against Joan. Yvonne Kenny is another one that I think of as very feminine, and those are another Australian wonderful soprano, by the way. So that's all I wanted to say. Just when listening to her voice, just that wonderfully feminine quality, and that is a big old compliment. That's all I'm saying. Here's that phrase that I've talked about, and she doesn't. She does grow it, but she doesn't hit it quite so pianissimo. She just hits it dead on, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very matter of fact, and she just hits it, and I like it, and I like it. You know what I'm saying? And a little applause. Was indeed live, and a charming souvenir indeed of a treasured American soprano, Phyllis Curtin. And so there we go. 3 sopranos, 1 aria. Joan Sutherland, Beverly Sills, Phyllis Curtin, and Tim Ostendorf. Innkeeper, baritone, bartender extraordinaire. Thank you for joining in, all 3 of you. And I actually have quite a few subscribers now. Maybe I'll go viral. I'll be the next, who was he? Justin Hoo-Ha? Whatever his name is. Don't have quite the hair, but I'm going more for a, I don't know, what do you think? The parted side? I don't know. Maybe a little, oh, what that actual name. It doesn't matter anyway. Thank you. Have a good night. See you soon. Bye-bye.